Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It's Wednesday, August 5th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
We want to provide the most transparency we can for the taxpayer.
Businesses across central Indiana are getting help through the Paycheck Protection Program. This morning, Call 6 Investigates is looking at why, despite the federal assistance, some businesses are still letting employees go.
My father, my mother, my brother, my sister-in-law, my daughter's actually a junior in college right now studying education.
The motivation to keep kids safe in school, and the company making it its business to do it with sheets of specialized plastic.
Well, the biggest thing that I've heard from parents is that I'm not the teacher.
And thousands of students in Marion County start their school year in just a few hours. Working for you, we're looking at tips to help your student thrive despite the challenges this year's already providing.
And at 6 o'clock, we are at the halfway point of our work week. Thanks for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. Rafael Sanchez, good morning to you down in Johnson County.
Lauren, good morning to you. Alyssa Donovan, I have a big question for you on this Wednesday. Okay. Is it legal to use the word chilly in August? Because it does not seem right that it is chilly in August.
I know. You know what? I think it's legal. I think it's definitely legal today. How about that? Today and tomorrow, especially in the morning, because it is a little chilly outside. You're going to notice that change when you step out this morning. 56 right now in Indianapolis. The change is about 10 degrees cooler than we were this time yesterday morning. You can see to the north, we have some 40 degrees on our map right now. Haven't seen those in a while. 49 right now in Fort Wayne to start our day. And all of that cooler air is filtering in from the north. We have a northwest flow in place, and we've also seen clear skies overnight. Those two things mixed together mean cooler air to start our day. The good news is that high pressure in control today means we're also starting with plenty of sunshine. So we will warm up quickly. While it is a cool start, by the noon hour, we'll be right around 70 degrees. This afternoon in the mid to upper 70s. So it really is going to be a great day. We'll see a little bit more cloud coverage later today, but it's going to be one that you want to get outside.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Take a look here. This is our camera at I-70 near State Road 9, the exit at Greenfield. This is a spot where we have some construction this morning, and we had the exit ramp there blocked in the eastbound direction. That should be wrapping up very soon this morning. It's an ongoing construction project, and looks like we still have maybe a vehicle out there on the ramp system, but traffic is picking up. Everything's traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound out in Hancock County. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads throughout the morning and keep you updated on any areas you need to avoid. Rafael?
We begin with a story only on RTV6. A central Indiana business, Lauren, received millions in federal funding to save jobs, but not all the jobs survived. Call 6 Investigates is now tracking the money.
Former restaurant workers brought their concerns to Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny. She's been digging into this issue.
Cunningham Restaurant Group owns more than a dozen restaurants in central Indiana, like Brewburger and Mesh. Former CRG employees contacted us asking why the company was cutting jobs, even though it received millions of dollars in federal funding. A worker contacted us back in May saying she was laid off by Cunningham Restaurant Group. That employee told us CRG received money from the Paycheck Protection Program, federal funds meant to help businesses keep workers on their payroll. In July, we heard from another employee who says he too was laid off by Cunningham Restaurant Group. We did some checking and found on July 6th, the Small Business Administration released data showing CRG received between $5 and $10 million from the Paycheck Protection Program. Cunningham Restaurant Group would not tell us exactly how much they received. Businesses don't have to pay the loans back as long as they're used mostly on paying employees, mortgages, rent, and utilities. A spokesperson did tell us of their 1,600 employees, they've used the money to help retain 85% of their workforce amid the pandemic. Some employees left on their own. Other positions were eliminated as restaurants restructured due to loss of revenue. The restaurant industry has been hit hard by COVID-19 as government restrictions have forced them to close temporarily and now limit capacity. CRG declined our request for an on-camera interview, but told us since receiving the funds, we have been able to do exactly what the program was intended to do, and that we have re-employed the bulk of our workforce, over 85% to date, and reopened our restaurants to service guests at the levels defined by area officials.
We want to provide the most transparency we can for the taxpayer.
We checked with the Small Business Administration, who told us in general, businesses that get PPP loans have to retain 100% of their full-time equivalent jobs for the loan to be 100% forgiven.
When they ask for the forgiveness, they're going to have to prove how many jobs they were able to retain through this process.
That means Cunningham Restaurant Group will likely have to pay back some of its loan. They told us, we are meeting all outlined requirements of the program and will continue to do so until this crisis subsides. Billions of dollars are still left in the Paycheck Protection Program.
The PPP program is still open. It's good through August 8th at this point in time. There's still plenty of money available, so if you haven't applied, please apply.
If you'd like to find out if a local business received PPP funds, you can go to our searchable database in this story on the RTV6 app or our website, WRTV.com. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Kara, thank you. Now, for the first time in 5 months, one of the largest school districts in Marion County will welcome students back. Some will come to the school buildings, others will begin their learning online. And we know that learning, it can be tricky online. And so that's why our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with tips from a tutor on how to survive this new normal. And it sounds like we just lost Kelsey. So we'll get to that story from Southport High School in just a few minutes.
The sounds of Indy cars roaring around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway are just 18 days away. But fans will not be inside the historic oval for the greatest spectacle in racing on August the 23rd. You see, track leaders say the number of coronavirus cases in Marion County has tripled since June the 26th. The spike in numbers led to the difficult decision to close this year's race off to fans.
It's an agonizing decision, I know Doug would say, from the perspective of delivering for our fans and all the work that's gone into this. But it was a pretty easy decision based on the data, and we always said we'd make the decision based on the data.
It was already announced that the race will not be blacked out locally. The closure will not only impact IMS, it will also impact the town of Speedway. The owner of Dawson's on Main hopes that fans will come out on race day to support local businesses.
We've been here for 15 years, and obviously we look forward to May every year, and this year we were looking forward to August.
So support local. The town of Speedway released a statement encouraging people to support local businesses that may be impacted by this big change.
And Rafael, let's talk numbers and the latest on the COVID-19 outbreak here in the state of Indiana as the number of deaths and cases continues to increase. The State Department of Health confirming 14 new deaths, more than tripling the number reported on Monday. That's bringing the death toll to nearly 2,800. 836 new cases were also reported, bringing the state's total to more than 69,000. More than 785,000 Hoosiers have been tested for the virus so far. Now I want to go back out to our Kelsey Anderson. She's outside of Southport High School this morning, where some students will be coming back to the school building, others will be learning online. So let's talk about how students who are working on that e-learning can get some tips from experts on how to make them thrive in this new normal. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning. So in just a few hours, the students will be coming here to Southport High School for the first time in months. And of course, they're going to be operating on that hybrid schedule, meaning half the kids will be in class, half the kids will be home, and they'll alternate throughout this first semester. So while virtual learning may be the safe option right now, it is obviously a headache for families and students. And Michaela Rice has taught every age group from K through 12 and even college classes, and knows from experience that a computer at home can't replace a teacher in the classroom. When it comes to school at home, Rice says the key to success is making sure home feels like school.
If the space is not conducive to learning, I can't learn. So that means if it's noisy, I can't learn. If it's too cold, I can't learn.
Over there. Rice says the computer itself won't be anything new to most students, as many of them already do a lot of their schoolwork on a computer. She stresses it is the environment that makes a difference, especially for younger students. She encourages parents to think about the messages and tools on the wall of a classroom and put those on display at home. Whether the learning takes place in a classroom or at the kitchen table, this classroom teacher and home tutor advises families to keep a routine. That routine she means by waking up, eating breakfast, brushing your teeth, getting dressed for the day. Even if you are someone who wears a school uniform, she says put that uniform on because it'll really put those kids in the mindset of learning. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV 6.
It's a nightmare. The best I can say is it is a complete nightmare.
This could be a complete nightmare, and this morning people struggling to pay their bills could face an added setback beginning sometime next week. We're talking about Friday. A state moratorium disconnecting utilities is set to expire next Friday, August the 14th. Now, paying those bills will be more difficult for many people like Crystal Gibson. She's not working right now, while remote learning and quarantining have led to such higher usage rates across the state.
I'm always going around trying to keep lights off, but the TV's going more, the Chromebooks.
There's tens of thousands of Hoosiers right now sort of at risk of losing service should that moratorium be lifted. This really shines a light on the fact that folks do struggle to pay their bills even before the pandemic and the financial consequences of the pandemic.
Kerwin Olson with the consumer advocacy group Citizens Action Coalition says that he plans on asking the governor to extend that moratorium once again. And this morning, we want to let you know that there are many groups that can help you with those bills. You can call 211 to be connected to some of those groups. There's also the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Programs, the Salvation Army, and many more.
We're very proud of our people and what we've accomplished.
Indiana company is doing their part to keep students in school safe during the coronavirus pandemic. That new at 6:14 how their product works and why they're now hiring Hoosiers. Alyssa.
And we are going to see a gorgeous day, starting a little cool this morning. You'll notice it when you step outside. We're only in the 50s. As we head through the day, we'll climb into the mid and upper 70s. Then we have a bit of a warming trend as we head through the weekend. Those details coming up next.
Welcome back. The time right now is 6:14. Raphael, we know our Hiring Hoosiers effort is all about connecting you to jobs.
And so, Lauren, this morning, the pandemic is forcing another business to change its plans. They're now looking for people to make these three-sided plastic products to help protect you and your children. These pieces of plastic have multiple purposes. They can take shape in creating folders for office supplies, farm-related products, or even sinks for recreational vehicles.
We're very proud of our people and what we've accomplished.
But now AGI Products, which hasn't laid off a person during the pandemic, is turning out what it calls the Desk Defender. And this is personal for those in this Park County company.
My father, my mother, my brother, my sister-in-law, my daughter's actually a junior in college right now studying education.
So the facility in Bloomingdale gave birth to this, to supplement masks and to help with social distancing. In fact, the company is hiring to meet the expected demand for a product meant for kids to take to school or their parents to take to their office jobs.
The social and emotional learning. We have to build a safe environment for the children to learn and be safe.
And just to make sure that a Defender lasts longer than a box of crayons or a book bag, this underwent some interesting testing.
Went over with the forklift last week, did not break. We've thrown this thing on the ground. We're very confident this will hold up throughout the school year, and we do put a 1-year warranty on it as well against any type of breakage.
So plastic, playing a practical purpose to slow the progress of the pandemic. The company has several locations, including plants in Vigo and Park counties, and this morning they're hiring Hoosiers. And here's the information that you need to know. To get more information about those jobs, you can send an email to hr@futurexplastics.com. You can also go to staffsolutions.com to learn more about the jobs needed right now. Of course, they're hiring Hoosiers at this moment. Lauren?
Raphael, the site of the old Navistar International plant on the city's east side, has some new owners with plans to bring new business to that neighborhood. Ambrose Property Group announced plans on Wednesday to redevelop this 90-acre site. It's on Brookville Road, and they're changing it into a new logistics park. Construction is expected to begin later this year. Navistar closed that plant in 2015, and it was demolished in 2018. All right, it's time to take a look at our forecast right now with Alyssa Donovan, and it is a cooler morning today, Alyssa.
Yeah, so we've fallen about 10 degrees from where we were yesterday at this time period. 13 degrees cooler today in Muncie, 7 degrees cooler in Indianapolis, and that's all due to that cooler air mass that's in place over the Midwest. That cooler air being filtered in from our northwest flow that's in place. That's keeping us cool this morning and keeping our temperatures below average as we head through the day as well. It's 56 right now in Indianapolis, 50 up in Peru and Tipton, a few 40s up there I've seen this morning as well. So very chilly start to the day compared to how it usually feels. You'll notice the change, especially when you step outside, because there's no humidity in the forecast. We have low humidity, and that's partially due to that high pressure that's over the region right now. That's keeping us clear and dry and calm today. Plenty of sunshine to start the day. So we are going to see a beautiful sunrise here shortly, continuing to see sunny and clear conditions for the first half of the day. And what that's going to do is help us warm up very quickly. So that sunshine is going to help us heat up. So we'll see that sunny sky to start by the afternoon. A little bit more cloud coverage will creep into the forecast, and that will kind of stall out that warming that we're going to see. So expecting those temperatures anywhere between the mid to upper 70s, depending on where we see that cloud coverage moving in. But it will be a gorgeous afternoon as well. Just going to see a few light clouds on our radar as we head into the later afternoon hours. Today, highs right around 77 degrees in Indianapolis, a little cooler to the north where we are closer to that cool Canadian air that's filtering in. Same about to the south, 75 in Bloomington, 76 in Columbus. Looking ahead to the next couple days, what you're going to notice is that humidity, not an issue today, not an issue tomorrow, but then you can see on our muggy meter, humid air is going to start moving in as we head into the later afternoon hours Friday and into Saturday, and then we are going to see a lot more humidity on Sunday and Monday. That's because that's when we are seeing showers and storms back in the forecast. Of course, you need that humid air to fuel those. So looking ahead to the weekend, I know some of you are making those plans already. Saturday, mostly sunny skies, a little bit more humidity in the forecast, 86 for the high. Really going to still be a great day, just a little bit more humid outside than what we'll see for most of this week. Saturday afternoon and evening, that's when we'll start to see that system moving in, bringing us a chance of showers and storms by Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. So get outside and enjoy today. Below normal temperatures. Feels great outside. Might even want a sweater this morning. Definitely won't need it this afternoon. 77 for our high, warming a little bit each day, and then we have those chances of showers and storms moving in this weekend.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now south of the downtown area. We got an update from our photographer, Shay Goodpasser, who just traveled through this area, I-65 and Keystone Avenue, where we had a pothole situation closing one southbound lane. He says that is all clear this morning. So it's great news as you're traveling south of the downtown area. Something else to make note of as you're traveling northbound through this area. We normally have a big traffic shift as they move the northbound lanes over to the southbound side of the interstate. Those are back on the northbound side, so the traffic shift is just slight there, just a little bit of a curve, and then you're mostly going straight this morning. So that should smooth out your commute a little bit south of the downtown area. Of course, we'll keep you updated on any other issues.
Lauren, thank you for that update. Each year, shoppers look forward to the sales following Thanksgiving, right? Well, new at 6:27, we're looking at how the coronavirus pandemic could change the sales so that you don't waste your money.
And as schools head back to class, students will be required to wear a face mask. Coming up, Good Morning America is helping you get your kids ready to wear the masks full time at school at 6:21. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:23 on your Wednesday. Here's a live look at where traffic's picking up on the north side, I-465, a view near Ditch Road. Everything's traveling up to speed. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads throughout your Wednesday. But now, Raphael, it is time to talk about what is trending at 6.
So let me take you to a ball game for a very wacky moment, and I want you to look up, okay? Because looking up is what caused the problem during this moment. You'll see during the Pittsburgh Pirates and Minnesota Twins game. In the top of the 5th inning, a drone actually stops play. Players and coaches from both teams were rushed off the field, concerned about what was in the air. After a few minutes of the unexpected visitor just buzzing around the stadium, the teams once again were able to play ball. In case you're wondering, the Twins would end up winning this game.
All right, well, what started out, Raphael, as just a regular honeymoon turned into a 4-month-long journey for a New Zealand couple. They were left stranded due to the pandemic. Fiona and Neville Clifton got married on Leap Day, and they spent 2 weeks honeymooning in the South Atlantic's Falkland Islands. But their flight out was canceled, and they spent 12 weeks in lockdown. Cliftons heard that a New Zealand fishing boat was headed home, so they climbed aboard for a month-long voyage through the seas. Wow, something they can tell the kids, I guess. That's a trip they'll never forget.
That's going to be a great story to tell. That's so true. And a big good morning to Master Sergeant Matthew Wheat. He's our hometown hero on this Wednesday. Sergeant Wheat is on active duty. He's also with the Army, U.S. Army, and he's from Johnson County, has family here. We want to thank him and all those serving at home and abroad. Now time to check your forecast with our Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, what a nice, cool, beautiful day in central Indiana.
Yeah, it's definitely not seasonable compared to what we should be seeing this time of year, so get out and enjoy it. We're starting cooler this morning. A lot of areas starting in the 50s. By about 9 a.m. we should be into those low 60s, and we're going to warm quickly to around 70 degrees by the noon hour. That's because of those clear skies allowing plenty of sunshine. Later today we'll see a little bit more cloud coverage in the forecast. 77 degrees for the high, but the good news with this forecast is we're going to see light winds, calm conditions, and dry conditions. Humidity is going to stay low, so it's going to be just a really comfortable and beautiful day to get outside.
Alyssa, thank you. Well, at the rate things are going right now, Black Friday, it's going to look really different this year. Working for you, our John Matarese looks into the future of holiday shopping during a pandemic so you don't waste your money.
The COVID pandemic is changing so many things in our lives this year. The latest, how we'll do our holiday shopping. That's because Black Friday is all but canceled. This 20-year tradition, the mad rush to stores Thanksgiving evening, is over, at least this year. No more lengthy lines, no more fights over flat screens. Stores can't risk crowds with the pandemic still spreading. So the big four Black Friday retailers, Best Buy, Walmart, Kohl's, and Target, have all announced they will not open Thanksgiving evening this year. Others closed include Home Depot, Lowe's, Sam's, and Costco. Forbes magazine calls it a great decision, a win for both shoppers and store employees who can finally enjoy Thanksgiving dinner. But from the Doesn't That Stink file, how holiday shopping could be difficult if you like the in-store experience. Most stores are limited to just 25 to 50% capacity, which will mean lines outside their doors. That's why online shopping is expected to explode this fall, and why Forbes expects Black Friday deals to start as early as October. The key to holiday shopping this year will be to start early, because no one wants to have to wait outside a store in December that's reached its capacity limit. So always don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese. Good morning, Indiana.
And for more cost-saving tips and ideas, you can visit the money section of our website. Just go to theindychannel.com.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Wednesday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. The mother of Drejon Reed is scheduled to talk to reporters today as she asks for the autopsy of her son to be released. Reed was shot and killed in May by IMPD officer DeJour Mercer. IMPD claims that Reed fired a weapon at Officer Mercer first. Reed's legal team says the 21-year-old did not fire a gun.
Indiana State Police being sued by the ACLU of Indiana. The lawsuit says that state troopers kept protesters nearly 2 miles away from the federal prison in Terre Haute during last month's executions. The protesters say that was a violation of their First Amendment rights. A spokesman for the Indiana State Police says it is their policy not to comment on pending litigation.
A Thanksgiving community dinner that's been a tradition in Anderson for 37 years will not take place this November. Organizers of the Geter Community Meal decided COVID-19 concerns were just too much to overcome because many of their volunteers are older. Here in Indianapolis, the Moselle Sanders Foundation dinner will go on, but organizers say they may have to make some adjustments as they get closer to that holiday.
TJ Warren did it again, so let's just say boom, baby. For the third straight game, Warren scored more than 30 points as the Pacers beat the Orlando Magic 120-109 on Tuesday. Indiana is now 3-0 since the NBA's restart at the league's bubble in Orlando. Next game up against the Phoenix Suns, that's tomorrow afternoon.
And a 10-year-old is now officially part of the Boone County Sheriff's Office. Caleb Anderson here is battling an autoimmune disease, and he has a love for law enforcement. He says he hopes to be a canine handler when he grows up. So Sheriff Mike Nielsen surprised Caleb by swearing him in as a special deputy. Caleb also got to meet some of the canine deputies, and he was given his own uniform and tactical boots. Very cool. A good news story there to kick off our show here at 6:30. And Raphael, we have more good news, and that's in our forecast. I don't know if you've stepped outside yet today.
Very cool for Caleb Anderson, very cool for all of us, because
Yes.
Alyssa Donovan has a very spring-like day in what should be, according to my calendar, it is the 5th of August, not the 5th of April, Alyssa Donovan.
You're
What is going on?
Yeah, I'm glad your calendar is right, because I think today could fool a lot of people. It is feeling very spring-like today, and we are seeing a beautiful sunrise this morning. That's thanks to some of those clear skies that we're seeing across the area. That's helped cool us down overnight as well. Temperatures starting well below average this morning. We are in the 50s across the area. Normally we're in the 60s this time of year to start our days. 56 right now in Indianapolis, 52 in Lafayette and Muncie, 55 down in Bloomington. So cool start to the day. We've fallen about 10 degrees, some areas 15 degrees cooler than where we were yesterday at this hour. And that's due to a colder air mass that's in place now. That's moved in from the northwest. We have this northwest flow helping push in that cooler air with some lighter winds. Overnight last night, we had clear skies as well, which is why we're waking up so cool this morning. None of those clouds to insulate us from that cool, dry air mass that's in place. Now, the good news is you saw that sunrise. We're going to see clear skies today to start, and most of the day before we start to see a little bit more cloud coverage move into the forecast this afternoon. The only thing with that is it's going to stall out our warming. So we're going to see those temperatures close to 70 by the noon hour, and then by the afternoon only going to climb a few more degrees into the upper 70s. But overall, it's going to be a really nice day.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. This is a look at traffic picking up on I-465 and Ditch Road on the north side. No issues to report there. Just got word of a crash, though. This is down in Johnson County. I want to make you aware of, because this could really impact your commute if you're heading out the door this morning in Greenwood. Worthsville Road is now closed between US 31 and the I-65 ramp system. That's due to a crash where 2 people were struck by a vehicle. They were taken to the hospital. This happened just a little bit earlier this morning, and they're still working on clearing that scene. So keep that in mind if you're part of that area and you use Worthsville Road to get on I-65. Again, that area will be closed. You can take Main Street or County Line Road as detours in Greenwood. Raphael?
Now to the latest on the COVID-19 outbreak here in our state, as the number of deaths and cases continue to increase. The State Department of Health confirming 14 new deaths, more than tripling the number reported on Monday. And that brings the total number of fatalities to nearly 2,800 in Indiana. 836 new cases were also reported, bringing the state's total to more than 69,000. Of those, 15,000 are from Marion County. More than 785,000 Hoosiers have been tested so far. Lauren?
Well, Raphael, more central Indiana school districts are having to deal with cases of COVID-19 in their schools. We know Brownsburg Community Schools confirms they have 1 case at the high school. The district did not publicly announce if the person who tested positive is a student or staff member, but officials say those who had close contact with this individual are being notified. The district says the areas where the individual was have already been sanitized. And a second staff member at Avon High School has tested positive for COVID-19. Now, unlike the first case there, this person had been in the school building and may have had close contact with some of the students. And those people were not notified separately, and they were given guidance from the health department on their next steps. One parent in the district who asked not to be identified tells RTV6 she feels there's a lack of accountability for keeping students and staff safe.
The health department says, you know, we leave that up to the school officials. You contact the school officials and they say, well, we're going off the guidance of the health department. So as a parent, I really don't know what it is. So it seems like somebody bigger, like the governor, needs to step in and give some clear explanation and understanding. Help us understand who's making these decisions and why when it's our children.
Now, we also spoke to the president of the Avon Federation of Teachers. She's afraid more students and staff will test positive in the coming days and weeks.
We have English and world language classes that are at least 30 kids, so we are sitting elbow to elbow as if it's business as usual. And we are armed with masks and some kitchen cleaner and some hand sanitizer, and that is it.
Well, Susie Lebo there says there's no clear guidance from the district on the health department on what additional steps are being taken to keep the community safe, or when or if a full shutdown could happen. District leaders declined an interview request. We also reached out to the health department, and we are waiting to hear back. Well, this morning you'll need to watch out for some more school buses on the south side of Indianapolis, Raphael.
Perry Township begins a new school year with a new plan to keep its students and its staff safe. Our Kelsey Anderson is live outside of Southport High School this morning with advice for those families facing remote learning. Kelsey, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. So we're here at Southport High School, and you can see already the parking lot is starting to fill up, assuming with teachers getting ready for the first day back to school in months. They're going to be operating on that hybrid schedule, meaning half of their first semester will be online while half is in the classroom, and the students will alternate. That way they can have an easier time using social distancing. So while learning from home might be safe, it is still a headache for many families. Michaela Rice has taught every age group from K through 12 and even college classes, and knows from experience that a computer at home can't replace a teacher in the classroom. Whether the learning takes place at a classroom or at the kitchen table, this classroom teacher and at-home tutor advises families to keep a routine.
Put your clothes on. If you wore a uniform, put your uniform on. If you wore regular clothes, put your clothes on. Brush your teeth. Have breakfast. Have recess. And most of all, breathe.
Rice says the computer itself won't be anything new to most students, as many of them already do a lot of their schoolwork on a computer. She stresses it is the environment that makes the difference, especially for younger students. She encourages parents to think about the messages and tools on the walls in classrooms and put those on display at home. Now, again, Rice just says it's important to make this all feel normal. Make sure your kid has a dedicated learning space. That way, when they're in that area, they know that it's time to get to work and time to start learning. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV 6.
Kelsey, thank you. Now, Indiana's American Federation of Teachers says it supports a strike if schools cannot reopen safely. The union said in a press conference that it is backing the national union's resolution to ensure safety of teachers and students. Now, they represent around 4,500 educators statewide. They called for schools to only reopen in person if COVID-19 cases are kept under control, if teachers and staff are given adequate PPE, and there's necessary resources like cleaning products. This morning, the union's president says there's no current plan to strike, but it is monitoring the reopenings day by day. And you can join us tomorrow night for an RTV6 special. We're taking a look at how Hoosier kids are heading safely back to school. We're asking lawmakers what they're doing to hold schools accountable, finding out what you can expect if your child needs to return to the classroom, and much more. That's coming up tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. only here on RTV6.
So it looked like he might be a free man, but now a reversal from the courts. Coming up, the latest ruling on a man convicted of killing an IU student.
And part of history is on the move. We'll show you how an iconic building is very slowly making its way to a new home, plus what it's going to be used for. It's 6:38. Stick around. We'll be back with more news just after the break. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:40 on our Wednesday. A man convicted of murdering an IU student will not be getting out of prison or getting a new trial. A federal appeals court overturned a lower court's decision to release John Myers. Myers is serving a 65-year prison sentence for the murder of 19-year-old Jill Bierman. Myers' attorneys argued that his trial lawyer did a poor job of representing him. The appeals court agreed, saying the lawyer was deficient, but they said the state's case against Myers was too strong to overturn the verdict. Bierman disappeared in May of 2000, and her remains were found 3 years later.
So, Lauren, holding a cell phone in my hand in my living room, this is okay. But since July the 1st, it's illegal to do the same thing, holding a cell phone in your hand while you're driving. And here are the consequences of breaking the law. Since July the 1st, we're getting a better idea on how law enforcement is now enforcing the law. Indiana State Police say in the month of July, troopers issued 13 citations and 191 warnings to people who were holding and using their cell phones while driving. Again, these are just the numbers from state police. The agency has said they plan on educating people as they get used to the new law. And they say that troopers will likely start writing more tickets later this year. Now remember, you are allowed to use your cell phone while driving, with things like a Bluetooth headsets and, of course, dashboard mounts. Lauren?
Raphael, a piece of history is moving to Lawrence. The Fort Bend Cultural Campus will now be the home to a new historic communications building as decommissioned from Fort Benjamin Harrison. The building will become the Visual Arts Center at the campus. The group Arts for Lawrence is in the process of making the move.
We really wanted to save the building. It shows some history of Fort Harrison, which is part of the mission of the cultural campus, is to tell the history of Fort Bend through arts and cultural events and installations.
Arts for Lawrence says the building will be home to a gallery, art classrooms, studios, and more. Construction on the Fort Bend Cultural Campus is expected to wrap up in January of 2023.
So it made its way up the entire East Coast rapidly. Next, the destruction left behind by Isaias and the continuing threat even though the storm has passed through. And in Indiana, Isaias is credited for the cooler temperatures, right, Alyssa?
That's right. Has a little bit of an impact on it. As it moved out, we saw that cooler air mass get pulled in because of that moving out, and we are seeing those temperatures much cooler today with our daytime highs. Warming, though, as we head towards the weekend. All of those details coming up in just a few minutes. You're watching Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are keeping an eye on a traffic situation for you down in the Greenwood area. This is actually a look at I-65 and Main Street. Our camera's frozen there, but just off the interstate, this is going to be a good detour for you this morning because Worthsville Road is still closed right now between US 31 and the ramps to I-65 after 2 people were struck by a vehicle taken to a hospital, but that road's still shut down. So you'll want to use your 31 to get on Main Street or County Line Road as detours. If you're traveling locally there on Worthsville Road, you can use Chic Road or even Emerson Avenue as detours, but just give yourself that extra time this morning as we do have some delays through Greenwood this morning. Now, Raphael, Tropical Storm Isaias left quite a bit of destruction as it roared up the East Coast. At least 6 people we know are dead, millions of people still without power.
And boy, we have seen the destruction this morning. Isaias slammed into the Carolinas and then barreled all the way along the coast through New England. It triggered tornadoes, high winds, and now flooding is a major concern still in the area. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi has the details.
Overnight, nearly 4 million power outages along the East Coast. After Isaias tore a path of destruction, this tree smashing into a home in Massachusetts.
I couldn't imagine anything this large coming down, and the way it's come down, it just totally uprooted the thing.
In Philadelphia, the Schuylkill River is projected to crest today over 15 feet, its highest level in more than 150 years. On Tuesday, rescuers outside the city pulled these kids to safety from a second-story window.
Pregnant, so I was at an OBGYN appointment. I left maybe a little bit before 10, and it was definitely not like this.
Joseph Hicks says the wind destroyed his Delaware home as his family took shelter inside.
As we were approaching the basement, I saw the tree lifting up out of the ground. And at that point, that's when I saw the whole back of the house coming off of the property. First thought is, thank God that we're here. God spared my wife, and my boys, so we're here. So I can replace a house.
But the storm turning deadly for others. In Maryland, a fatal accident when a tree fell onto a car. In Queens, New York, 1 man died after being crushed in his truck by a fallen tree. And in North Carolina, 2 people killed after a tornado slammed into a neighborhood.
We took shelter, just my son and I were here. We ran to the center of the house and got in the closet, and then it was gone as quick as it started.
Along the North Carolina coast, these boats are now piled on top of one another like toys in a tub.
Oh my gosh!
In New Jersey, the powerful winds toppling the steeple of this church. And our cameras capturing the moment a sparking power line exploded just as ABC's Stephanie Ramos was conducting an interview.
And this is basically a result of the storm. Power lines down, causing fires and explosions in the neighborhood.
Meanwhile, at the New Jersey shore, many vacationers are taking the storm in stride.
As with everything else in 2020, we had a storm to contend with.
Monaco Sarabdi, ABC News, New York.
And Isaias has moved out of the area, out of the U.S. rather, up into Canada now. As it's gone that direction, it's helped pull a cooler air mass down from the north. So that energy pulling that into the Midwest. And that's why we are seeing some cooler temperatures today. Also why we're seeing those clear skies this morning. So we have clear skies, cool air mass in place. We're under this northwest flow, which is why that cool air is filtering right here into Indianapolis and central Indiana this morning. We're at 56 degrees right now. Gorgeous sunrise going on. Those clear skies allowing that this morning. 56 in Indianapolis. That humidity is low as well. Dew point is low, so it's going to feel very nice when you step outside. Calm winds going to feel a little chilly compared to what we've seen in the past couple days. Not going to feel exactly like August. Feels a little more like spring outside. So as we head through the first half of the day, we'll continue to see those clear skies around the area, and then by the afternoon we'll see a little bit more cloud coverage moving in just as a passing front moves across this ridge. And then we will continue to see clearing overnight again tonight, which will allow us to drop back down into those 50-degree temperatures by tomorrow morning. So we're going to continue with this trend of cooler starts and warmer afternoons over the next couple days. Today, 77 degrees for the high. We could see some cooler temperatures for our daytime highs. Kind of depends on when exactly those clouds move in and stop that daytime heating. But overall, it's going to be a really nice, comfortable day. You'll want to get outside this one. As we head into the next couple days, overall, the stickiness scale, that humidity that makes it feel so uncomfortable outside, is not going to be a problem today or tomorrow. We'll start to see a little bit more humidity on Friday, and you'll notice that when you step out, and you'll also notice that with our daytime highs as we climb into the 80s again, which is where we should be this time of year. By Saturday, it's going to be very muggy, and that's ahead of a storm system that's going to bring us the potential of showers and storms Saturday night and into Sunday. Most of the day on Saturday, though, it's still going to be nice, just more humid air in the forecast. 86 for our high with some sunshine. And then Sunday, we'll see partly sunny skies to start. Those showers and storms will move in likely in the afternoon. That humidity really starting to peak once again as it fuels those storms making their way into central Indiana. Today, however, get outside, below normal temperatures, but it feels really good out. Step out this morning. You'll notice you might even want a sweater. You won't need that this afternoon, but we are going to see plenty of sunshine to start our day. Mostly sunny tomorrow and Friday as well. That humidity builds back into the forecast for the weekend. Chances of storms on Sunday.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now, and we are monitoring a situation down in Johnson County this morning. Here's a look first at I-65 and County Line Road near that area where you can see everything is traveling up to speed. So that is good news because you may want to use the interstate as a detour this morning. We do have a closure for you. Worthsville Road is closed between US 31 and I-65 in Greenwood after two people were struck by a vehicle. We're just getting some more information right now that it was two teenagers who were sent to the hospital after being struck by the vehicle, and the driver of the vehicle fled the scene. So they still have this area blocked off right now. You can use US 31 as a detour as well as I-65, and to get around that closure, maybe get on the interstate. If you live in Greenwood and that's normally your entrance ramp, you can use Main Street or County Line Road here as detours. Of course, we'll continue to keep you updated on that situation and let you know if we learn more. Well, you thought their big day was going to be ruined by the pandemic, but this couple was about to get a big surprise. We'll show you the company who delivered a hot and fresh rescue right to their door. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. And Lauren, you really have to feel for this California couple. They lost their job during the pandemic, and then they were forced to cancel their wedding.
Wow, but Danny Haberman and CJ Kalachi, they got a big surprise from a really unlikely source. Domino's Pizza was offering pizza-themed wedding registries for couples in similar situations. Danny and CJ were chosen by the company, and they were only expecting $40 in pizza, but Domino's instead paid for their entire wedding registry, more than $4,000 worth of gifts. Wow. The happy couple says they're now looking forward to their new wedding date in October 2021. Wow, that is incredible. Yeah, so nice of them. And I don't know about you guys, but today would be an awesome day if you had an outdoor wedding.
Ooh,
you may be expecting a hot one in August, but it feels a little bit more like fall out there,
Yeah,
Alyssa.
this would be some great wedding outdoor weather. Definitely. We're going to see some gorgeous conditions today. You'll notice it's just a little bit of a chill in the air when you walk outside this morning. 77 for our high today. It's in the 50s right now, though, so you might want to grab a sweater or something. As we head into the afternoon, we're starting with sunshine today, a little bit more cloud coverage later this afternoon. 77 for our high. Will continue to warm a little bit each day as we head towards the weekend. We're also going to start building that humidity back in this weekend. Today, though, low humidity, a comfortable day. We'll see that humidity return Saturday and Sunday as it fuels some chances of showers and thunderstorms Sunday into Monday.
Alyssa, thanks. We're back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and of course your traffic updates. We'll be keeping you updated on that Ortsville Road closure down in Johnson County and get more information from police, and of course get that to you as soon as we learn more. Thanks again for watching Good Morning Indiana. Good Morning America is up next.